Srimad Bhagavatam 10:81-13, continuing the Sudama pastime. Shobhute Vishwabhavena Swasukhena Jagam Swalayam Tata Pathya Anvrajnanditaha Shobhute. So, on the next day, Vishwabhavena, the Lord who is the maintainer of the universe. Throughout the Bhagavatam, whenever Krishna is being referred to, there are many endearing ways of referring to him. So Vishwambhar, Vishwabhavena, these words are being used to indicate that this is not an ordinary person, and specifically the apparent contrast of that Lord who is the maintainer of the world not doing anything to help Sudama maintain himself. Vishwabhavena Swasukhena Bhivanditaha. So that Lord who maintains everyone, he is completely content within himself. So he is a Vishwabhavena Swasukhena. So now Krishna didn't have, we can say that Krishna is the maintainer of the world, and he should maintain everyone. So, but if we consider Krishna is Swasukhena, so care for everyone, because he is the maintainer, that's what he is meant to do. But he is self-satisfied, so he doesn't have to care for anyone, for no one. If Krishna is self-satisfied, he doesn't really need anyone. So these two are almost opposite. Swasukhen, that Lord who is there, Abhivanditaha, that Lord honored him wonderfully, and after honoring him, Abhivandita, Jagam Swalayam Tata. So Jagam Swalayam, Alaya is the place, Jagam is to go. So he went to his own abode, Swalayam Tata. Now here Tata is, sometimes we have to be careful who is being referred to over here. Tata doesn't refer to Krishna speaking to Sudama. This is Parishit Maharaj speaking to, or Parishit Maharaj being spoken to by Shukadeva Goswami. Pathi Anuvrajya Nanditaha. So Krishna saw him off, and that Lord saw off his dear friend, and then he Anuvrajya, he started walking on his path. Joyfully he was. So Nanditaha is described here for Sudama. So Swasukhena was described for Krishna. These were descriptions of Krishna. Nanditaha is described for Sudama. So they started walking away. He started walking away. Now Tata is of course for Parikshit Maharaj. So here, naturally out of courteous hospitality, Krishna also didn't just tell him to go away. Krishna walked out with him from his palace and walked with him some distance, Vishwanath Thakur explains. So it was a respectful seeing off. When a meeting ends, it can happen at various levels. Sometimes it's a very acrimonious meeting. So somebody might just say, get out of here now. Somebody might say, okay, I think let's continue this later. You should leave now. You should leave now is a politer way of saying get out. These are all quite harsh ways of leaving. But here, harsh ways of telling someone to leave. But Krishna was Abhivanditaha. And when he went, now the key point is Nanditaha. So why was he happy? That is what will be described in the next verse. That in one sense, his purpose, his mission was not fulfilled. Nanditaha Sudama, that is the mystery. So we can look at his happiness in terms of thoughts and in terms of things. So, why was Sudama happy? In terms of thoughts, he had been enriched. In terms of things, he had got nothing. In fact, if you can see, he had given something to Krishna, and Krishna had apparently given absolutely nothing back to him. So that might seem really weird. But how Sudama was enriched at the level of thoughts is described in the next verse. Sacha labdhva dhanam Krishnan. Sacha labdhva dhanam Krishnan. So why was he Nanditaha? The key point the Bhagavatam makes is alabdhva. Alabdhva means he did not get dhanam. So normally if we go to someone and the spoken or unspoken expectation is that we will get some wealth, and he did not get any wealth, nor did he ask for wealth. Natu yachitavan swayam. He was neither given nor did he ask for it. Swagruhan vridito gachan. He started going towards his house, and now the word vridita or vriditan is coming once again. Earlier it was to show that he was too embarrassed. So overall, Sudama seems to be a very soft-spoken person. He didn't want to offer. He was too shy. He was too embarrassed. The words variant of Vriditaha came up earlier, that he was not willing. Vriditaha, he was hesitant, he was shy, he was embarrassed, he was mortified. Mortified might be a bit strong word. Severely embarrassed to offer. Because he had earlier been embarrassed to, now it is more reserved. So he had been embarrassed to give the rice, thinking that this is too meager, too low quality to give to the Lord, and is too reserved to ask for wealth. So in both ways, Sudama has been quite silent. He did not ask. Gruhan vridita agachat. He went on towards his home. Sorry. Sachalabdhva dhanam Krishna natu yachitvan swayam. Swagruhan vidito gachan mahad darshan nirvritaha. So what was the reason for his Nanditaha? He had got no wealth, but he was delighted in mahad darshana. Now if you go back to the start, there was Sudama and Sudama's wife. Sudama's wife had wanted dhana, and Sudama had wanted darshana. So both of them had different wants in one sense. So because dhana was not a primary want for him, he did not feel unfulfilled. He had got that mahad darshana, and because of that mahad darshana, he was already satisfied. So how he was satisfied, what was he thinking when he was satisfied? So we all have our desires, and instead of, we often think of give up desires or don't give up desires or fulfill desires. But it's important to understand that desires are often multi-level. That means we may have some surface desires. Surface desires are often something like outside in. They come from outside in, and deep desires, they are more like inside out. So you put it this way, that they are desires that come from inside. Or if you put it another way, if a person is here, the surface desires are those which primarily come from outside. Somebody else tells us do this, whereas these are the surface desires. And the deep desires are those which come from inside us. These are the more deep desires. So Now what had happened was Sudama's surface desire had not been fulfilled, but his deep desire had been fulfilled, and that's why he was happy. In fact, he was delighted. Nirvritaha Mahad Darshanam, that the darshan of the great Lord had satisfied him. So often, when people say, choose to be happy, chant and be happy, Srila Prabhupada would say, choose to be happy. Now, how can we choose to be happy? That means, in one sense, choose to focus on those desires that are fulfilled. Choose to focus on what? We have many different kinds of desires, and it is our decision. We focus on the fulfilled desires, and then we can be happy. Or if we focus on the unfulfilled desires, we can be unhappy. So we may have gone some place, and we wanted a particular food item, and that food item is not there, and we feel irritated, we feel unhappy. But overall the food is delicious, and we expected to eat food, and we got good food. We can be satisfied by that. So here Sudama's happiness has come because his heart has gravitated towards the desire that mattered more for him. And for him, when there is serious deep devotion, serious devotion or pure devotion, and when there is not so pure devotion, when pure devotion is there, the heart will naturally gravitate towards the deeper desire, the desires that truly matter. That we could call them spiritual desires. But when there is impure devotion, at that time the heart may not gravitate. And if the heart does not gravitate, at that time it's important for us to ensure that our head chooses to concentrate. You could say spiritual desires, or specifically the desires that are fulfilled. And by such focus, we can find contentment wherever we may be. In whatever condition we might be in, we concentrate, we appreciate. The head, we direct it so that we appreciate, we concentrate, and thereby we can be satisfied. Thank you. Hare Krishna.